Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good evening. Sorry, I was running just a few minutes late. If you could hear me okay, type a 1 in the chat if you can hear me all right. Everybody hear me okay? I had a little bit of technical difficulties as I was getting started. I want to make sure everybody can hear me okay. If you can please put a 1 in the chat, I'd greatly appreciate it. Great. Thanks, Donna. I appreciate you. Thank you. Hey, Craig. How you doing, buddy? Fred, good to see you again. Okay, guys, I appreciate everybody coming in tonight. How's everybody doing? Is everybody getting ready for Halloween tomorrow? Dressing up or doing anything fun? Okay, all right. So last week with the first ever live stream here, we talked about all kinds of different stuff. Last week we really focused on lot rent and a lot of the confusion that is going on in the industry as far as lot rent, and is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea to buy a home in a park with lot rent? And I feel like we went through that quite a bit. Also, when we were on the live stream last week, I invited anybody to email directly a question. Thanks, Donna. We're not handing out overpriced candy. Pinball bar, fantastic pinball bar. I've never been to a pinball bar. That sounds like a lot of fun. So we talked last week about lot rent, kind of going over everything in detail. There's a lot of confusion out there in the industry. Today, we're going to go over some questions that I have emailed to me. And again, I'll put my name or my direct email in the chat here if you didn't get it last week. And you feel free to always email me directly. And I'll put my email here just so everybody has it. If you ever have questions that you want to ask or have me talk about on the next week's live stream, I'm always happy to do that. Like I said, this live stream and this live stream series, I feel like is desperately needed in the industry, creating a community with the mobile home dealer, as well as also being able just to create a place where good quality information is shared to everybody who wants to be in the manufactured home space. Whether you're buying, whether you're selling, whether you're a park manager, you're an investor, you're a fixer and flipper, whatever you're doing, we are thrilled to have you all here. So the first question, and we'll jump in. I have 3 questions that were emailed to me over last week. Feel free to jump in, and if you have questions in the chat, I see there's a couple that came through before the stream started. First one is going to be from Miss Susan Retlig. She emailed me directly about last week's lot rent. I won't give the details of it because I don't want to be too personal with her. But at the same time, she said that she was looking to sell a property and she had a considerable amount of money from the property. She receives a certain amount in Social Security in retirement. And she was curious to see if when she goes and she gets park approved, if they would always just look at the income and not the savings. Okay, so this is a question that gets asked all the time. It's a question actually I personally dealt with a client of ours, client of the mobile home dealers last week. They had a bag of money from an inheritance, and they didn't have much money coming in from their actual income for the lot rent. So they didn't know if they were going to get approved. Unfortunately, for this client, they did not get approved for the park. So Susan, kind of how they do it, it's going to be park specific. Okay, so Susan, I don't know if you're on the call or not, or if you're going to watch this on a repeat, but it's usually going to be park specific. Some parks will take your income, your credit, and your criminal history, and that's all they're going to look at. Some will look more at kind of what they call the whole financial picture. So they'll look at what type of savings do you have, what type of investments do you have, what type of income do you have, and then kind of factor that in from the money side. Okay. I'll answer that two ways. Number one, always check with the park. Okay, always check with the park first, and make sure that you understand how they're going to approve you for the residency on income. Okay, that's number one. Just identify the park, find out how they're going to do it, and all that kind of stuff. Number two, I would tend to say that most parks are going to base things solely off of income. Solely off of income. The vast majority of them will. Because if you have a bag of money and what you wrote in your email is a significant amount of money, if you have a significant amount of money, then a lot of times parks are going to say, yeah, but how do I know you're not going to use that money to buy a fancy car or to go buy an investment property? How do we know as park managers and park owners that you're going to have the wherewithal month to month to be able to bring in enough money to actually pay the lot rent? So number one, always check with the park, see how they're going to do it. Number two, just go ahead and expect that they are going to base everything off of the income that you have coming in and not your actual savings. Okay. So that answers that one. Next one is going to be from Mr. Derek Ridley. Derek Ridley emailed me 2 days ago. He said, "Hey, Mark, I appreciate the live stream." You're very welcome, Derek. The next one is he was asking, he has a special needs child and who's under 55 and he is over 55. Would he be approved for a park if he has a special needs child that is dependent on the child living with him? So Derek, I appreciate the question. Generally speaking, yeah, parks are going to let that one go. They're not going to ride that one very hard. So I would imagine you're going to be in a really good position. Again, just purely going off of what you asked. You have a special needs child. They're dependent on you. You're of age. Is that going to work in a park? Very rarely have I ever seen that ever be a problem. Here's the thing, though, Derek. You want to make sure that you can get approved at the park. Okay, so you want to make sure that your money is good, your income is good, your criminal background, if there is one, is taken care of, and then provide plenty of medical documentation. Okay, that's the big thing, because unfortunately there are people in this world who are going to say, yeah, my child or my son or my daughter relies on me because they're special needs or whatever, and they don't. Okay, so you want to make sure that even though that's kind of a scummy thing that people do, it does happen, and park managers usually get burnt out on that stuff. So they'll say, sure, we're not going to say anything about it, but you need to provide the medical documentation. What medical documentation that they're going to ask for, Derek, I don't know. I don't know what you have on file for your child, but I think you're going to be in a good position just as long as you can get approved in the first place. Next one is from Karen Lucen. Karen Lucen emailed me. Mark, learned a lot from the live stream last week. Thank you. I'm happy you did. Could you talk more about pet parks and how they approve pets for residency? Sure. How pets are done in most parks. Number one, you just have to ask the park manager, do they allow pets, right? That's the first thing. Okay. The next thing is how many pets, and then I assume you're referring to a dog. Okay. So in the situation where you have a dog that is going to be your companion, I love dogs. I'm a huge proponent of four-legged friends. But a lot of times parks are going to be pretty restrictive on the breeds and the size. Okay. Now they do that. A lot of people don't understand, but they actually do that based on insurance, because the park has to have insurance for the common areas, for the dog parks, for the streets, for the pools, the tennis courts, whatever. So it's more expensive on an insurance policy if you allow bigger dogs. It's more expensive on an insurance policy if you allow aggressive breeds, and that's a whole nother conversation. So the main thing is you want to make sure that you understand from the park, and the park communicates with you clearly what kind of pets they allow, and then it's usually going to be a size deal. Okay, most parks are going to put a quota on about 25 to 30 pounds on dogs. Okay, I'm a big dog guy. I've had big dogs all my life, so that's kind of a bummer. But I do understand why they do that, and that's going to be largely based on just their insurance. Okay, are there parks that have no limits on sizes of dogs? Sure, yeah. In Florida, there's a community called Colony Cove. It's the largest mobile home park in the state of Florida. It's like the 5th largest in the country. They have no limit. You can have 2 dogs. You can have 2 Great Danes. You can have 2, Irish Sheephounds. 200-pound animals if you want. they don't put any restrictions on it. Okay. Now they're going to be a little bit more selective as far as like aggressive breeds. They don't want to have, your American Staffordshire Terriers, also known as pit bulls. They're not going to want to have like Rottweilers or Dobermans. But generally speaking, most parks, if they do allow dogs, they're going to allow one. It's probably going to be around like 30 pounds, and they don't want to have any other aggressive breeds. Last one that we got in, so I hope that helps answer your question there, Karen. Last one we got is from Bruce in Ohio. I know a Bruce in Ohio. Maybe you're the same guy. Bruce in Ohio asking about motorcycles. Mark, appreciate your information on live stream. You bet, Bruce. Could you talk more about motorcycles in parks? Sure, Bruce. So again, that's going to go to the park. Each park is going to have specific things they allow and things they don't allow. I would probably say it's more common, Bruce, that parks don't allow motorcycles than parks that do allow motorcycles. Okay, why is that? I'm not a biker. I've ridden on a Harley one time in my life. It scared the what out of me. I never got on one again. Why is that? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a biker. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know. It could be something with insurance. It could be, unfortunately a stigma. It could be, because they're loud or they could be loud. I guess any car could be loud. I guess a lawnmower could be loud. I'm not really sure. I'm not real sure, but Bruce, I would say if you're a biker, and that's your thing, you like to ride your bike, totally cool. I hear you, man. It's going to be harder to find a park that allows motorcycles than a park that allows dogs. Okay, so I'm not saying they're not out there. There's definitely a lot of parks out there that allow bikes and stuff like that, but they're going to be not nearly as common as ones that allow animals, and then not nearly as common as ones that don't allow motorcycles. So unfortunately, you might have to look a little bit, but they're definitely out there. So guys, that is those are the questions that were emailed to me from last week as far as the lot rent goes. The other big thing that we didn't really talk about last week, and I wanted to kick off this week's conversation as far as lot rent goes, is going to be rentals, and if you can rent your mobile home in a park with lot rent. That has totally changed industry-wide in about 5 years, okay? When we first started the industry back at the end of 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020, then more and more parks were allowing those. There would be a lot of short-term rentals. There would be a lot of month-to-month rentals allowed in parks. A lot of parks don't allow rentals actually at all anymore. They're all what are called owner-occupied parks, meaning you have to live in the home. The only person who can live in it is the person who owns it. So they can't rent it. They can't have Uncle Harry, if he's in the area, come and rent the house. So more and more parks are actually going away from any type of rentals. Okay, so if you're looking to buy the home and you're looking to be a snowbird, or you're looking to live there like a 6 month on, 6 month off type of deal, and you really want to focus on the ability to rent, I got to be honest with you guys, you have to be real careful with that right now. And this just isn't in Florida. Okay, I've got several people that I know in the industry who run a similar type of business all over the country. We talk all the time. We're in a mastermind together. We have these types of calls on a regular basis. And it's becoming more and more common that that parks aren't allowing any type of rentals at all. Okay. And they're not just like the no vacation rentals. They're none. No rentals at all. So if you want to buy a home, and the only way that you're able to afford the home is to buy the house and to then rent it out, a couple months a year, be very, very cautious with that expectation, because a lot of parks don't offer that anymore. And some parks that did offer that are now changing that around throughout the South and Southeast, which is where the mobile home dealer is located at. So it's becoming more and more of a thing that really doesn't even exist. Okay. So if you're looking to do mobile home rentals, then you want to make sure that you adhere to the park guidelines. The parks that do allow rentals are usually going to do what's called a long-term rental. That is going to be 90 days or more. And you just want to make sure that you are adhering to what the park manager says with that, because the worst thing you can possibly do is to catch a park manager off guard with that kind of stuff, because there's going to be a knock on the door and they're going to say, "Who are you?" "Well, I'm the renter." "Well, you can't rent." It's going to get awkward in a hurry, in an absolute hurry. So I hope that helps answer your questions so far on lot rent. I'm going to take a quick swig of water, and let's jump into some questions here in the chat. Okay, Donna, great question. Will an insurance company insure an older trailer? So the direct answer to that is going to be yes, but it depends. Okay. So the big thing when you're talking about manufactured homes is going to be the year 1976. Okay. 1976 was a pivotal year for the industry. Why? Well, 1976, the governmental agency HUD came out, the Department of Housing and Urban Development. So pre 1976, there really was no uniform standard for manufactured home building. Okay. Now, if you've ever been into a home and that's like a 72 or 68, something like that, I've been in hundreds. They actually didn't have any building, any building kind of requirements. Okay. So I've literally been into a home, hand on the Bible, hand to God here. I've been into a home before and there was a hole in the wall, right? Like somebody hit it with a couch or whatever. And it was a 67. And I took my flashlight on my phone. I looked in there and the insulation they had in there was grocery bags. Okay. Like the plastic grocery bags you get at Walmart or Aldi or whatever, those were stuffed in. So I immediately thought, oh, it must have just been like one area. So I took my flashlight and I went around to the other sides. No, there were trash bags as insulation. Okay. That's one thing I've seen. The other thing I've seen is egg crates in between the walls. Okay. For insulation for your older homes. Now, why do I mention that? Well, in 1976, when HUD came out and they said, no, that's crazy. That's crazy train. We need to rule it in a little bit here and make a uniform building code. So that's what HUD did. Okay. So when 1976 came around, technically speaking, every home that was built after 1976 is technically not a mobile home. It's technically a manufactured home. Okay. We're called the mobile home dealer. That's our outfit, just simply because more people still in this industry refer to it as mobile homes and not manufactured homes. But technically, it's manufactured home. So, Donna, if the home is after 1976, I know it's a little bit of a history lesson here. If it's after 1976, then chances are, yes, they are going to insure the home. That's a big misunderstanding that people don't get in this industry. And I see it in the comments every day on your YouTube channel. And it basically people are like, oh, you can't get insurance for this. There's no way you can get insurance. Well, yeah, you can. Now I'm not gonna say how much insurance is going to cost. I can't legally do that. That's why I don't answer those questions in the comments, because we're licensed mobile home brokers. We're not licensed insurance agents. So I have a pretty darn good idea what it would cost for, a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1980 home to get insured in coastal Florida. I can pretty much quote it pretty close to it because I've seen dozens, if not hundreds, of insurance quotes come through this office. But I can't legally quote it. Okay, because I don't have that license. So can you get insurance? Yes, you definitely can. If your home is of a 1976 and newer, you definitely can. If your home is on private property, okay, and that's a real estate transaction, it's going to be different insurance, but you definitely can. Hey, Edith, good to hear from you. Happy you're here. Hey, artsy lady, good to see you in here. Love your positive comments in the community, by the way. Craig. Okay. Yeah. Good question, Craig. Why does it seem that subfloors are such a prevalent issue? So that's a loaded question, and I'll do the best I can to be direct and not give you a full dissertation on construction here, Craig. Okay. So if you've never been in a manufactured home, or if you're new to this level or this industry, Craig, I like to talk with my hands. All right. So you have a couple of different types of flooring. Okay. So let's just picture that this right here is the carpet. Okay. I'm just making this up as I go. If you're walking in a manufactured home, Craig, here's the carpet. Here's the subflooring. Okay. Here is the dirt. All right. Now there's going to be some other stuff. There's going to be plumbing. There's going to be a vapor barrier in there. Yeah, we can get technical, but for this example, just kind of go with me on this. So the subflooring, when it comes out of the factory, okay, the subflooring is going to be here, and then you're going to have 2x8 support beams. Okay, they're usually placed about 12 inches apart from one another. Okay, so that's your flooring system. When the home comes out of the factory, now this isn't for newer homes, this is for older homes. So your 60s, 70s, 80s, a lot of your 90s homes, they're going to come with the subflooring. It's going to be the 2x8 and then the subflooring, and that subflooring is going to be a product called particle board. Okay, particle board is essentially just glued sawdust. if you will. Okay. Particle board is not that strong over time. It's a cheaper product. That's why they put it in manufactured homes. And it has a tendency to get soft. Okay. So we call them soft floors. We call them soft spots. You can call them spongy floors, all that type of stuff. Over time, the subfloor is going to get wet. How does it get wet? Well, underneath the subflooring, you're going to have the plumbing, and then you're going to have what's called a vapor barrier, Craig. Now, the vapor barrier essentially looks like a really thick contractor trash bag. Okay. If you're doing some serious lawn work, like you're cutting down, trees and stuff, you're not going to put the trash bag out there to pick up the rose bushes or whatever that you're going to put like in your kitchen, right? Like that's just going to get tore up. You're going to get like the real thick ones, like the Hefty or the Husky or whatever they are at like Home Depot. The real thick ones, that's kind of what your vapor barrier is. Okay, I'm kind of simplifying this to prove a point, but you'll get the idea. If the vapor barrier gets torn, which inevitably it will over time, okay, then there is really nothing to be able to stop the vapor, because that's your vapor barrier, from the ground. Okay, so then what's going to happen is the vapor from the ground is going to come up. It's not going to get caught up in the vapor barrier. It's going to immediately go to your subfloor. Okay, over time that is going to start weakening the subfloor, especially if it's particle board. All right, so then what happens is it takes quite some time, but when you start walking through the home, if you have a trained eye, Craig, you can kind of look at it, and if the light hits it right, or if you've got enough light on it at a time, you're going to start to see kind of a wonky, kind of a wave on that. Okay, that tells you right out of the chute that you have a soft floor. So if that happens, okay, then you have to be very, very light-footed. Now, I'm a big guy. Okay, if anybody's met me in person, I'm not a small guy. So when I feel a soft spot, okay, I kind of walk like a cat, like on tiptoes. If you can imagine, I'm 6'3", I'm about 270 pounds. If you can imagine me kind of tiptoeing, all right, literally, like I'm in a movie or something, that's usually how I walk on soft floors. Because if they're very, very soft, you'll actually fall through the floor. And I've fallen through the floor probably 5 or 6 times now in this business. And it's very scary, and it can be very painful for obvious reasons. So the subfloor, the reason why we always talk about how big the deal is if they replace the subfloors. They replace the subfloors, that's quite a job. Okay, so what they will usually do, if it's a flipper or whoever it is, doing some home remodeling, they'll take off the overflooring. Okay, so they'll like tear the carpet off, they'll tear the luxury vinyl plank, whatever, and they'll set that on the side. Then they'll take a saw and they'll actually cut out. You can do this one or two ways, Craig. You can cut out the soft spot, and then with like a circular saw, throw that in the trash can, get a sheet of plywood, match the cutout that you did, and then just staple it or just nail it into the support beams. Okay, that's called a patch job. All right, it's just like a tire patch. Okay, that's what you can do, and some people do patch jobs for soft spots in floors. Okay, that sometimes works, sometimes not, because then sometimes you have like really good floor with like some old crummy floor, and it doesn't usually work. So if the soft spots get bad in a house, what most people will do is they'll yank off the overflooring. They'll take the saw, they'll actually cut out the entire flooring system. Okay, they'll cut out all of the subfloor. They'll throw all the particle board in the dumpster. Then they'll get 3/4 inch plywood. They'll bring that in, they'll measure it out, they'll cut it up, and they'll nail that directly on all of the 2x8 support beams. Then they'll put the overflooring over, and now you have new subfloors. So anytime we have a home in our inventory that has all new subfloors, as you can imagine now, Craig, that's quite an undertaking. And that's a very, very big sale point for people if they have new subfloors, because now you've got 3/4 inch treated plywood instead of the crummy particle board. Okay, girl next door. Can you sell mobile homes that other people have listed? I'm not planning to move until spring. Just curious. Thank you. Not generally, no. The mobile home dealer really does not get involved in doing that. The reason why is because when the mobile home dealer sells homes, we sell homes one of two ways, girl next door. If you see them on our channel, okay, then we have what's called an exclusive listing agreement. Okay, so that's just a respect deal that we have with us and our clients, that we're going to be the main form of contact. As a result, our team and I, we really push that professionalism onto other companies in the business. So I'm not one to name other company names. I'm not that guy to give free marketing, but there are other mobile home brokers in the state of Florida. And if they have a listing, then we just, we want to make sure that they have the opportunity to sell it, that they can serve their customer. And we're not going to do a double listing. We want the exclusive listing. The mobile home dealer also sells brand new homes as a referral basis. So you'll see us when we have new home tours, like we put one up 3 or 4 tours, maybe a month. We have one coming out on Saturday from Cavco Homes. Beautiful home. Make sure you check out that tour. We then sell those as well. Okay, but we sell those in a different way than what we sell our homes. Yes, Mary, I am chewing gum. I did not bring a pack for everybody. I just came from the dentist, so my pearly whites are a little sensitive. So I need to keep the party going here. Okay. Hey, Walter, all the way from the United Kingdom. Man, that's awesome. So cool to have somebody here from across the pond. I used to live in St. Pete. How do you like the UK? I've never been there. I just got back from Costa Rica not too long ago. I backpacked through there. That was awesome. I've never been there. Donna, working on getting oil for the chair. Artsy lady, do most parks allow tenants to do extensive landscaping around their home, flowers, bushes, trees? Yeah, great question, Artsy lady. So the direct question to that, or the direct answer to that, I'll answer it 2 ways. The first one, if you're ever going to do something with a park or to your home in a park, and your home is on a land leased piece of ground. I'm sure we got some park managers in here. If we don't, then they'll watch it on the replay. The one thing you always want to do, Artsy lady, is you always want to make sure you let the park manager know anything that you're doing to the outside of your home. All right. So if you're going to paint the inside of the house, polka dots, and you're going to put leopard print wallpaper on, knock your socks off, have a great time. Okay. You don't need to get that approval from the park. If you're going to do anything to the outside of the home, just let the park manager know. Okay. The worst thing in the world is to catch a park manager off guard. Okay. And let me give you an example. If you go and you put some beautiful bushes and some beautiful trees and all that kind of stuff, and you just call the park manager, or you see him at the pool or whatever, and you just say, hey, park manager, I'm super excited. Here's some pictures that I want to get at the nursery. I want to put these trees up. Is that okay? 99.99% of the time, the park manager, if it improves the look of the home, they're going to say, yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, have a great time. And I can't wait to see how this is going to go. The reason why I always suggest you tell the park manager that, okay, is because if you go and ask the park manager, hey, I got these awesome trees, I'm super excited, and they say, cool, like that's awesome, then they now have held you to the same standard as everybody across the board at the park. So if you are going and walking your dog and you see a beat up pickup truck with the engine knocked out and it's sitting in the front yard and it's got 3 flat tires and it looks like it just needs to go to the dump, that park manager is going to pull up on their golf cart and say, hey, beat up pickup truck owner, you need to get that out of the yard. And they're going to say, oh, no, I don't need to do that. And they're like, yeah, you do. You see that lady over there with the beautiful bushes? Even she asked us to make sure that those beautiful bushes were okay. We give her the thumbs up in writing. So everybody's on the same level. You need to make sure that you move the truck out by the end of the day. Now, I'm not picking on pickup truck owners. I've owned several myself. But that just gives you an idea that the park manager essentially does not want to get surprised with anything in the park. They're the manager. Okay, they have to act like they kind of know what's going on all the time. Whether they do or not, that's another story. But they have to know that they know what's going on. So that's number one. Number two, everybody's held at the same standard. Okay. Number three, people ask all the time who are new to this industry, hey, can I put a fence up? I want to put a fence up in my park. Let my dog run around, or I want my privacy. If you're going to put up bushes and trees and stuff like that, again, if it improves the look of the community, no park manager in the right mind is going to say no. However, no park manager in the right mind is going to say, sure, yeah, let me go ahead and take care of them. No, the responsibility is going to be on you. So if you don't tend to the bushes, if the trees die and it starts to look really, really bad, and it's, Smokey and the bear is out there and he's saying it's a fire hazard, okay, then in that situation, they're probably going to ask you to remove them because it just looks crummy. But if you want to put a fence up, it's safe to say they're never going to allow that. They're never going to allow to put a fence up, okay? And the reason is why, why can't I put a fence up? Well, it's real simple. The reason why most park managers refuse to allow residents to put fences up is because in most parks, the lot rent includes your lawn maintenance. Okay, your mowing, essentially. And if you've never been in a manufactured home community when the mowers are there, okay, it literally looks like a NASCAR race. Those guys are phenomenal. They gas up their zero turns and they just they whiz around, okay, because they have a lot of acres to cover in a short period of time. If there were 200 homes in the community and all of a sudden 50 of them have fences up, there's no way these guys or these gals, these landscapers, could get the work done in a reasonable amount of time for a reasonable price. Okay, because they would have to literally have an Indiana Jones treasure map coming around the corner and saying, "Oh gosh, we have a fence here and we have a fence over here, and watch out for the dog over here, and this guy's got a giraffe." And I'm being goofy, but you get my point. So, nice bushes or anything of that matter, just ask the park manager if you can do that. Don't expect to ever put a fence up. Guys, if you're finding enjoyment out of this stream at all yet, please give us a thumbs up. That helps us out quite a bit. If you just hit that thumbs up, smash that like button, that allows us to be able to get our information out to more people who are bouncing around the YouTube and want to learn more about manufactured homes. So if you could hit the thumbs up, we'd greatly appreciate it. Okay, let me jump back up here in the chat here. Craig, how can you tell the year of manufacture? Is there a VIN plate or something similar to an automobile? Yep, there sure is, Craig. It's called an identification plate. I know it sounds super original. I know. It's also called an ID card. So every manufactured home is going to have one of these, Craig. It can be found in a couple of different places. It can usually be found. It can usually be found in the primary bedroom closet. That's usually where it can be found, or it can be found on the inside flap of an electrical panel. And that's going to show you the VIN number. That's going to show you the wind zone rating. If you're down in a hurricane-prone area like South Florida, they're going to have a wind zone rating. Okay, it's going to be level 1 to 3, and the higher the number, the higher the number, the higher the wind speed it can handle. If you're like me and you're from the Midwest, or if you're from like up north, like Minnesota, or Wisconsin, then they're going to have a snow rating on those. Okay, so yeah, you're definitely going to have it. It's also in the title. Okay, so the title is a big thing that's going to be your proof of ownership, Craig, and it'll have all the information. Okay, Rick, love your video. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, Rick. So great question. Why do we always focus a lot of our videos? Now, we don't focus all of them. But I would probably say 70% of our videos are in land lease parks. Yeah. And the reason why is we're licensed mobile home brokers. I'm actually the broker for the firm. I don't really talk about that much in the videos. I founded the firm and became the broker for it shortly thereafter. So as a mobile home broker, we're brokers. We're not realtors. So we specialize in mobile homes in parks on leased land. So that's our dog and pony. We know that product. Our team exclusively sells that product, and we know that product like the back of our hand. I have other interests in selling. I work directly with a couple of different individuals. You may have seen land home packages on our channel. We've done probably 5 or 6 of them where you can buy the house and you can buy the land. I work with those companies on the side. I also work with several different manufacturers as well. And those are the new homes. But generally speaking, you're not going to see a lot of, at this time anyway. Now that may change. But at this time, that's why you see a lot of land leased. But will you see more land owned on the channel? Yeah, you'll see that sooner rather than later. I hope I didn't let the cat out of the bag on that one. Okay. Oh, and then also, Rick, yeah, I mean, there's essentially 3 ways you can buy a manufactured home. The most common way by far in the country is buying the manufactured home and putting it on private land. That's by far the most common way to own this product. The second most common is what we specialize in a park on leased land. And the third most common is going to be in a park where you own a share of the community. Now, please keep in mind, guys, everybody has their way of calling their house their home. I think all manufactured homes are fantastic opportunities, especially in a world where, in my opinion, not being political, but in my opinion, I think we definitely need affordable housing now more than ever, at least in my life. So whether you buy on private land, whether you pay lot rent, or whether you pay an HOA, I think they're all winners. And I think everybody kind of has their way of saying, you know, this is going to work for my budget and my family. And I think that's great. I think a lot of times people in the mobile home dealer community, especially the folks in the YouTube comments, that they shake their fist of all knowing. They say, "Oh, I will never pay lot rent. You have to own the land." I mean, that's fine. Like, I welcome all the comments, but I think each option is a good option. We specialize in land leased parks. I see the benefit of that. I see the benefit of owning a share. I see the benefit of owning land. I see the benefit of it all. I just like manufactured homes. Okay. All right, Ben. Let's see, what do you got, buddy? When you're buying a manufactured home from any dealer, who do I have looking out for me? What I'm asking is someone who looks out for my best interest, not the seller. Well, Ben, I'll answer that two ways. I'll give you two options. Let's say you're working with a mobile home dealer. Let's say you're working with a mobile home dealer, and let's say one of our team members is listing the home. You're the buyer. So what we do a lot of times in the mobile home dealer, Ben, is we have what's called a dual agent agreement, which is essentially is we work for the buyer and we work for the seller. So like if you buy a single family home, a lot of times they'll have buyer's agents and seller's agents. That really doesn't exist in the manufactured home community, the manufactured industry. I mean, it does a little bit, but it really, I can't tell you the last time I sold a home and I didn't work for both of them, if that makes any sense. So yeah, in that situation, if I am selling the home and then you call me and say, "Hey, I'm interested in one of your listings," and it just so happens that I'm the one selling it, not a team member, which is pretty rare at this point, but let's say it was that way. I'd just ask what you want. I'm not saying in a lot more professional way than this, but we're on a live stream. It's Thursday night. We're having fun here talking mobiles. If you want to know something specific, I would just tell you. I would show you the seller's disclosure. That would itemize maybe the problems, maybe the issue with the HVAC or the flooring. I would show you the video. If you said, "Hey, I'm out of state, can you do a Zoom call or a FaceTime call because I want you to flush the toilet and show the water pressure of the shower and get on your hands and knees and look under the house," I'd be more than happy to do that for you. Sure. So when you're concerned about is somebody looking out for you, well, I mean, if they're a decent broker, they want to get the sale and they want to work with the buyer and they want to work with the seller. So in that situation, all the time I work with people who are buying homes, and yeah, I'm representing the seller, but I'm representing the buyer too. Like we're kind of doing both things, and it's not just me, Ben. If it's one of our team members, that's part of their training to be a part of the mobile home dealer community. Be a part of the mobile home dealer team, they have to be willing to work for the buyer and the seller at the same time. So in that situation, I wouldn't be that concerned. If you don't believe me, or if you whatever, we don't know each other, that's fine. Get a home inspection. Pay for a home inspection. Have a third-party home inspector contact the broker or contact the sales agent and do a home inspection. Yeah, that's one way you can do that too. Third, if you're buying a brand new house and you're buying it from a dealer, like directly from a dealer themselves, like a dealer lot, in that situation, they're going to, I guess, kind of work for you, if you will, or represent you, because essentially they need to get that unit off the lot because they're paying rent to the manufacturer every month on that. It's like a car lot. So if you're working with a broker and it's a pre-owned home and you're working with an honest company like the mobile home dealer, we just shoot you straight. If you don't want to trust us or you don't want to believe in what we say, it's fine. I don't take offense to it. It's business. It's not personal. Then I would always just push you over to a home inspector. Get a home inspection. All right, Edith. We're planning on moving from Arizona next year. Are you coming down here? Where would you suggest is the safest place for hurricanes to live? So I'm not from Arizona. I'm from Indiana. And I moved down the week. I did this great, guys. Like, you want to talk about fantastic planning. If you get to know me, you know I got a pretty dry sense of humor. It's my last name. I'm German. I had a great planning, Edith. I moved down to Florida 4 days before Hurricane Irma. Yep, I sure did. I moved down 4 days. Irma came, I think, on a Friday. I came down on Monday, going into Labor Day weekend. So I got hit with hurricanes within 72 hours ish of me coming down. Okay. I hadn't even unpacked, my socks, and I was evacuating. Okay. So, welcome to Florida. Safest place. Yeah. I mean, Central Florida. Yeah, I guess. I'm not a meteorologist at all. Okay. But the last several hurricanes have come through the Gulf side. Okay. It used to be the Atlantic side was the rough side, and the Gulf side was like the chill side. I would agree to that still, because the waves out here are much stronger on the Atlantic side. On the Gulf side, they're super chill. If you like to kayak or like standing paddleboard, you can do that all the time. On the Gulf side, it'd be a challenge to do it on the Atlantic side. But I think Central Florida, like if you got up around like Kissimmee, I would not live in Orlando. That's your call if you want to live in Orlando. But, Ocala would be good. That'd be a safer area. That's going to be about 30, 40 minutes away from Orlando. That's going to be about an hour and a half from like Daytona, about 2 hours away from the Gulf. That might be a good spot. Tallahassee would be another spot to look at. Just depends on how far north you want to go. But yeah, I mean, Florida's a destination location for sure. It's a beautiful place. I'm very, very blessed to be here, and I'm thrilled to be here. But yeah, you do have to deal with that. But when I lived in Indiana, you had to deal with snowstorms and tornadoes. Pick your poison. Let's see. How well do 55 plus parks generally uphold rules and standards? And that's from Juan Yankee says. Yeah, pretty well. Pretty well. Here's kind of the generic answer to that. After working in about, I don't know, I'd probably say I've been in and out of probably 4,000 or 5,000 mobile home parks at this point, all throughout the country. So I think I have a pretty good idea on how to answer that. Drive through the park, look at the cars, look at the people, look at the lawns. If you see, beat up cars on blocks in the front yard, they're probably not instilling a lot of rules. If you see, troublemakers hanging out at 10 o'clock in the morning doing troublemaker things, it's probably not a place they're going to, sit there and be like, hey, make sure you pick up your trash cans because they've been out for a day. No, they're probably not going to do much of anything. So I would probably say just drive around. Everybody's got that gut feeling, you know what I mean? And if your gut feeling tells you like, I don't know about this one, you're probably right in the manufactured home space. And I mean that with all due respect. If you drive through the manufactured home community and you're like, yeah, that's pretty nice. The landscaper's out doing his thing, and, the lady's out going for a walk, and the dog, is kind of, yeah. And, then, yeah, then that park manager has that one on lock and key. I've seen parks that are ran like that, and they're not, and I don't mean like they're like overprotective or like they're like a helicopter like park manager. I just mean like everybody kind of lives up to them. Then, yeah, it lives up to the rules. And those are the parks that are nice parks, and they'll take care of you. The ones that have a bunch of characters around, they're probably not gonna, enforce the pool rules. I'll just put it that way. So, use your own eyes, use your own life experience, and you'll be fine. Let's see. Brian, I work on HVAC in Clearwater. Hey, Brian, what's up, man? I'm happy to see somebody local in here. Common issues with mobile homes HVAC: dirty coils and air handler, clogged because of cat hair, not changing filters enough. Hey, thanks, Brian. I appreciate you sharing that with the community. Thank you very much. That's great. I would agree with that. I would say another big maintenance item, and we can talk about maintenance just for a minute here. Big maintenance item that I've seen, I agree, Brian, are people not taking care of the HVAC. Other big thing is not doing any type of preventative maintenance. That's a huge thing I see all the time. Okay, we talked about it a little bit last week in last week's live stream with the life expectancy of a manufactured home roof. I'm from Indiana. I say roof, manufactured home roof. Okay, you can seal the roof on a regular basis, usually once a year, every 2 years. If you're in a very sunny area, Florida, Arizona, Texas, that Nevada, then I would try to seal it every year. You can get a 5-gallon bucket of sealant from a mobile Home Depot. They probably even have them at Home Depots. You can do it yourself with like a big roller, or you can hire it out. It's actually a big business in the West, like West Texas and Arizona. There's a lot of companies that I know over there who do that. They roll it, single wide, double wide. They'll roll it in a short period of time for a reasonable price. But I would say preventative maintenance would be a big thing. Your HVAC comment, Brian, 100% agree. I would say making sure that you seal your roof on a regular basis. I would also sit there and say that, and this is just kind of life in general. If you have a small problem with your house, if you don't tend to it, expect it to be a bigger problem. So we were talking about, Craig mentioned about soft floors. If you have a soft spot on the floor, get that hammered out. Like, don't let a softball or a soft spot that's the size of a softball get to a bowling ball, because you'll wake up in 2 months and it's going to be the size of, a car. And all of a sudden you're looking at, oh man, I don't even know if I want to step on it. It's going to fall through. Like, don't do that. The big thing with manufactured homes is that there's not a lot of stuff to take care of. The stuff that you do need to take care of, make sure you stay up on that. But yeah, I agree, Brian, on the HVAC. Janet, how are you? Janet B, I'm 2 years out from deciding what I'm going to do and where to move. What are the key differences between tiny homes, mobile homes? Is one better than the other? Great idea. Yeah, so tiny homes, generally speaking, Janet, are going to be very similar to what we call park models. We have several dozen park model videos on the channel. I think park model is the best thing in the manufactured home industry. Tiny homes are going to be a little bit smaller than that. Park models are usually going to be anywhere between 8 and 14 feet wide, and they're usually going to be about 32 to 38 feet long. So you can figure the math on that. Tiny homes are just going to be smaller than that. A lot of times tiny homes are going to be 2-level. Okay, so they're going to come in and you're going to have like your kitchen and your lounge area, and then they're going to have a small ladder, and then they're going to have the bedroom up top. Most park models, the newer ones are kind of doing that, but everything is a little bit bigger with a park model. The other thing about tiny homes, Janet, is a lot of parks won't allow tiny homes. They won't allow them, period. They'll allow park models. If it's an RV resort, they'll allow like fifth wheels and travel trailers. But even a lot of RV parks, Janet, they won't allow tiny homes. So if you're looking at a tiny home or you're looking at a manufactured home, I would really stress to you, decide what you're trying to get out of the house, right? By that, I mean, are you trying to travel around with the house and go to Florida and Arizona and do the travel and road show deal? If you're looking to do that, then I would say get a travel trailer or a fifth wheel, because that way you can get into any RV park, because a lot of parks don't allow tiny homes. If you want a smaller space and you want to be more of a permanent fixture, I would strongly point you into the park model world, because park models are going to be bigger. They're going to be just as efficient as most tiny homes, and you're going to have all the luxury features of a full-sized manufactured home at a smaller size, okay, and at a much lower price. Tiny homes, and I've been in hundreds, a lot of tiny homes get to be a little chintzy. Again, I'm a bigger guy. I don't think I'd work in a tiny home. I think I would definitely do just fine in a park model. Plus, park models, you're going to be able to get into RV parks, whereas a lot of the tiny homes aren't allowed. Okay, got a couple of more questions. Noemi, SK, is subfloor repair expensive? Yes and no. It really depends on how much work you're doing. I have several handymen and handy women that we work with around the area that our office is in. Rough numbers, a patch job is $100 a patch. Rough numbers. That'll vary a little bit, but about $100 for material and labor per patch. Okay. If you're going to do the whole floor, yeah, that's going to cost several $1,000s. So I don't know if that's a lot of money for you or if that's not much money, but a full subfloor redo, several thousand patch, roughly $100 a pop. Stella Schwartz, how are you? Hi, Mark. Are there any mobile home parks that you refuse to sell homes located within for reasons like very poor reputations or poor upkeep of the park? Yes. Yes. And what you said in your comment, I'm not asking you to name parks. Good. I appreciate it. I would not feel comfortable doing that. There are certain parks that none of our team members sell in. We have our own reasons for that. The main one is, as the broker, I never want to put somebody in a position where they don't feel safe. I want everybody to feel safe. I want everybody to feel respected. There are parks in Florida that people don't respect brokers, and maybe there's a problem with physical safety. And there's absolutely no reason why anybody from the mobile home dealer should ever be in a position where they're feeling disrespected or they don't feel safe. So yes, there are parks, quite a few parks, in fact, that we will not sell in. Life and Sad Ending. Love your channel, man. Where is Uncle Harry? Have you seen Uncle Harry? I hope you guys enjoy that. I have a lot of fun doing the intros. That's my favorite part of doing the videos. Gizmo, what's up? Thanks for coming in. Really enjoy your channel. Hey, thank you. I sincerely appreciate that. Like, all joking aside, I know I joke a lot in the videos and have fun on live streams, but that really means a lot. Thank you. If you buy a mobile home and pay lot rent, you also have to pay property tax. So the direct answer is no, because you don't own the property. The flip side is, are there mobile home parks who do what's called a pass-through tax? And is that property tax or is that a pass-through tax? Do you say tomato? Do I say tomato? So generally speaking, no, you don't pay property tax. Do some parks push on the community area of property tax onto the residents because they say, well, yeah, but the resident is using the pool? Yes, some parks do that. That's really not very common. Some parks will do what's called a fire tax. That's in like really, really, really small towns, like cow towns is what we call them in Indiana. And what they will do is they will do a fire tax. Essentially, that's the tax for the local first responders. How they come up with that number, I don't have the foggiest idea. But the fire tax is usually like $3. So it's not like a lot of money, but some communities do that. Yeah, I know. Indiana University Hoosiers. You know, when I was living in Indiana and all that kind of stuff, you know, to say you played football at IU is kind of like, you know, not a real good thing. It was kind of like a condolences. You know, you say, hey, you played at IU, kind of like, hey, I'm sorry that your uncle passed. Because it was literally, when I was growing up, like, if you played football in Indiana, you wanted to play at Purdue or Notre Dame. If you played at IU, it was like, ooh. But yeah, they're doing well. Looks like they're doing real well. Do you sell mobile homes in North Korea, Fred? No, sir, I do not. Yeah, so Life and Sad Ending. We had a place in a big park in Sarasota out by 75. Nice park, $1,800 lot rent. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that you moved. You know, generally speaking, Sarasota, for whatever reason, is what they call a destination location, much more so than even, you know, as close as Bradenton. Our office, where I'm sitting at right now, is in downtown Bradenton. And you can get a steal of a deal for a lot of homes and a lot of lot rents in downtown Bradenton. Yet you go to downtown Sarasota, which is about, 15 minutes away from where I'm sitting, and you'll pay a lot more for real estate. You'll pay more for groceries. You'll pay more for lot rent. You'll pay more for a car. I mean, it just is what it is. It's just a little bit more expensive over there. So that's kind of what we have so far for the live stream today, guys. Any other questions? Go ahead and shoot them up in the chat. If not, then I'll kind of give you a preview for next week, and we'll wrap things up and have a fantastic rest of the evening. Any other questions that I can help answer, just let me know. So I did put my email there in the notes. Please, guys, feel free to reach out to me anytime. Let me know what questions you have, whether we're talking about lot rent. We talked a little bit about insurance tonight. We talked a little bit about maintenance. My goal with this whole educational series is twofold. Number one, I want to start doing more of a job of creating community with the mobile home dealer. You see our videos, you see our inventory, you see our website, you see all that kind of stuff. But I feel like we need to come out and create more of a community with everybody and have fun, hang out, talk mobiles, talk different things, and just have a good time. which is what I'm trying to do here and build the community. Next thing is really just trying to lay out more of an educational platform. The mobile home dealer is going to be going in that direction into the first of the year. I'm working on something right now that's a big project for the mobile home dealer. It's a massive project. And I'm extremely excited to talk about it. But I'm just not there yet, so I don't want to give too much information away. But you guys will be excited, I'm sure. I hope anyway, because I've been working on it all year, and I'm almost ready to debut it. But it's going to be a big thing for not just the mobile home dealer, but for the entire industry, and I'm very excited about that. So that's kind of what I'm working on behind the scenes, and continuing to work on that, continuing to do these live streams just to bring more and more education, more and more information to you guys. You kind of see my character in the videos, and I have fun with that. I really enjoy doing the intros and the outros. But this is me. And this is the time where you can ask questions directly, and I'll give you as straight and direct of an answer as I can, just to try to create more of a community and better education in the manufactured home space. Reason why is I cannot stand how much. Oh, I was about ready to say it. How much junky information is out in this industry. And my goal and my passion is to try to eliminate the misunderstandings, eliminate the stereotypes, eliminate the just crappy, can I say it? Crappy information that's out there in this industry. I love this industry. I think it's a fantastic place to call home. And my goal with the live streams is to kind of bring together everybody, bring together the education with the project that we're working on here behind the scenes, and provide entertainment at the same time, because walking through manufactured homes is a blast. I enjoy it, but I like to make it fun too. So thanks, Craig. I appreciate the positive words, brother. Thank you so much. Nice to see prices coming down, Brian. Yeah, prices are definitely coming down. They're definitely coming down right now. I have never seen this many homes on the market ever. Okay. As the broker of the firm, I've been here since day one. I've never seen this many homes in the industry on the market. I've also never seen this many overpriced homes in the industry. But everybody's got their reasons why they want to sell at a particular price, and we can talk about that next week if you like, and talk about how to negotiate prices. And if you're looking to sell your house, I've got a couple of tricks up my sleeve as well that I'd be more than happy to share with everybody on next week's live stream. So I'll plan on talking about buying and selling homes, or maybe just buying homes or selling homes. Email me the questions that you got throughout the week. I'm more than happy to do them. I'll stockpile them. If I don't return your email, don't get offended. Please don't. Because what I do is I will take those questions and then add them to our live chat here so we can learn and grow as a community together. So thanks so much for coming on this live stream. I apologize again for running a couple minutes late at the beginning. I had a little bit of technical difficulties with my internet here at the office. Happy Halloween to you as well, Karen in Texas. Hello, Karen in Texas. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, whatever you do, whether you hand out candy, go to the pinball get together, or do some other fun stuff. Have a fantastic time. Have a safe weekend. Have a safe holiday. And we'll see you all on the next one. Thanks, guys.